Char Margolis. Char.
Things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and today is December 20th, 2019. Happy winter solstice, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'm so excited today because I have my dear friend on who worked at Times Square at New Year's Eve and was the big presenter there. But before I bring him on, and also I'm going to be doing readings at the end of the show, so you can call in the number that we always give out. Two things. Number one, The Universe is Calling You, my new book. If you haven't pre-ordered it, you can pre-order it on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. And I'm very excited about it. And I was really thrilled this week because I got to present it on Access Daily, Access Live Daily. I don't know, Access Hollywood has like 3 different shows and 3 different names. But and it was preempted by the impeachment trial. So it's going to be on December 31st because people were saying, well, where can we watch it? How can we watch it? Because I do Man on the Street readings on it, and a lot of you love that when I do that. And because they're so great because they're not produced at all. I have no idea who I'm going to be talking to. And then also I was on EPOP Daily. So, and also I'm going to be on Extra in January. So follow my Facebook, follow my Twitter, follow all of the stuff that I do. And I appreciate that you guys support me and watch and understand that we really all have intuition and we're really all one and we're really all here to help each other. So my dear friend is Don Blanton. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, of course. Are you kidding? I'm thrilled that you're here. So, okay, so my friend said, we're going to Times Square on New Year's Eve, and our friend is the host of it all. And I had known Don, but not as well as I know him now. And so, but when I read your bio, you what is the wow factor? You're like the founder of the wow factor. You do all the signs, the digital signs that go, and you said something about Coca-Cola. What did you do?
Well, I started in radio when I was 14.
Oh, you did?
And then what I did was, it's sort of hosting New Year's Eve in Times Square. I was the MC of the show, which if you were standing down in the crowd, you would hear my voice introducing all the acts and everything that was going on. And that happened by accident in a way, because I was working with Dick Clark and I had designed an automated DJ system. I think we have a picture of that.
What do you have that picture up of Dick Clark? He was your mentor, right?
He was one of my mentors, yes. And Dick and I became very close, but we didn't become close when I was a disc jockey. We became close after I invented this computer system that ran all of his nightclubs. And so I put myself into the computer system. Yeah. So I invented that, and they said, Dick Clark isn't going to like you because he doesn't like computers. He still has an old phone on his desk, with the push buttons. And I said, no, we'll get along just fine. And so that picture that you see, that's myself teaching him how to work the computer. And we became friends after that.
Wow.
And he would call me every day and ask me if we could add this feature and do these things to the computer system. So, yeah, he owned Dick Clark's American Bandstand Restaurants. And that's how I met him and did that. And then he took me to New Year's Eve with him. And we would stand out there in New Year's Eve. And that was before they had the pen system where they put people in little pens. And it was very unruly. And so I stood out there and thought, how could you make this better? And he would do live shows, which he thought were live, but they were really taped in June. And so I'm like, well, all these people are standing out here for 6 hours with nothing to do. we need to have live performances. So getting back to your question, the wow factor produced some of the most major billboard animations and content for advertising in Times Square. We control the majority of the signs still to this day. And so I created all these animations and all these things to do something different in live shows and all of that. And Dick said to me, well, why don't you create something for New Year's Eve? So I went and met the people who produced New Year's Eve, and I said, look, we need to have live entertainment. They said, oh, no, the police won't let you have that. It'll cause a riot and all this.
In Times Square.
Yeah. And I said, and there needs to be an MC. And they said, well, who would do it? And I said, I'll do it. I'll be the MC. So we did the first live performance we had was Lindsay Lohan on MTV. And then now everybody wants to perform on New Year's Eve. And then I became the host so I could tell the crowd what was happening because they just stood out there all day from 6, sometimes since 12 noon, waiting for the ball drop at 12 midnight. So I thought there needs to be entertainment. So I devised this whole thing. We started out, I could only do 3 lines. And the police department said, next year you can do 6 lines. And then the following year it was 52 pages of dialogue. That's how much it grew. And
amazing.
We had all kinds of stars and all kinds of people. So, yeah, we changed the face of Times
but it was
Square.
your idea.
It was one of my ideas, yeah.
It was, but Dick Clark would not have had this, and now Ryan Seacrest does it, right?
Right.
And you were on with Anderson Cooper and...
Anderson Cooper, Carson Daly. I would introduce them to the crowd before they did their TV show.
That's amazing. And the Clintons?
And the Clintons were there, yeah. And I remember asking... President Clinton, I said, have you ever been to Times Square on New Year's Eve? And he said, no, I haven't. And I said, well, welcome. And I said to her, Hillary, I said, congratulations on becoming the Secretary of State. And she goes, yeah, it's going to be a good gig. And I was like, wow, the First Lady talking like that, former First Lady, it was really kind of exciting.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, New Year's Eve has changed so much, since those days. And unfortunately, I want to be positive, but the first year that I did it, I was going to have Dick Clark on stage with me, but that was the year he had the stroke.
Oh, no.
So there's a picture that I sent you of myself and Regis Philbin.
Do you have that?
And that year...
Tony, with Regis and Don? There it is.
Yeah, and that year was the year that I got the entire crowd, 1 million people in Times Square, to wish Dick Clark a Happy New Year, and they piped it into his hospital room over at St. Joe's Hospital here in Burbank.
Amazing.
So that was fun. That was my tribute to him.
Just for the people that are listening to this on audio, in case you want to see Don, you can always go to char.net, char.net, and see all my CharVisions, and then you'll be able to see the photos as well. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, because some people just listen to the podcast. They don't always watch them.
Right.
But, okay, so that's amazing. But tell us about the digital billboards. What are they exactly? I mean, were performers on your digital billboards, or they were commercials?
They were advertisements beforehand. Like, I created the unveiling of the Coca-Cola sign and in 2004, and I got a television viewing audience of 1.2 million people to see the unveiling of a sign. And I don't have a picture of that, but...
What, the Coca-Cola sign?
Yeah, I changed the whole way Coca-Cola did their advertising in Times Square.
Did you have to get permission from them? Or?
Oh, yeah. I designed everything new, and I said, look, these aren't the standards, but we're going to change them for this. And it was a huge success. One of the things I did was I put people inside the sign, which was my staff, waving to people. So I unveiled it in plain sight. And Coca-Cola saw all these people in the sign, looked like they were constructing the sign before I unveiled it. And I used pyrotechnics to shoot sparks out of it to look like they were welding it. And I remember one Coca-Cola executive asked me, do we have enough insurance in case those people fall out of the sign? And I loved it because that was the wow factor, because that was all animation. There was no people in the sign.
But
you thought it was real.
But you're like a digital guru. I mean, you like help create the digital images.
I did. I designed all of the different things, the ad campaigns and different things. And it's just like, every year I design the countdown for New Year's Eve. So when you see the countdown on Dick Clark's ABC's New Year's Rockin' Eve, that's the countdown that I created along with my staff, Billy and Josh, and we create that countdown every year. This year is going to be a little different because
Why?
the sponsor wanted to create the countdown this year.
Oh.
So
can you say who the sponsor is?
Yeah, the sponsor this year, the main sponsor of New Year's Eve is Volkswagen this year.
Oh, it's Volkswagen.
Yeah, so they wanted to create their own countdown, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, but they should actually have you help guide them.
Well, you know,
should be consulting them. But you know what? You have a feeling. See, that's the thing about you. You're intuitive, and everything you've done has been futuristic. So you manifest things, and you get intuitive about things. Tell us some of those stories that you had shared with me. Well,
when I was young, my parents didn't believe in me, because I wasn't a normal child.
So sad.
Well, it's like, but it defines who you are today, right? I wouldn't have been an overachiever had my parents, given me everything. I don't know.
That's true, maybe.
How do you know?
You don't.
And so I took a negative and turned it into a positive is what I did. Because it was, I'll show you, I'm going to show you that I can do anything I set my mind to. And they didn't believe that I could. And they never did give me the credit that I wanted. Like for New Year's Eve once, for the millennium, I'm hosting the event, the change of the millennium. I fly them to New York. I put them up in a hotel room. They were supposed to be on stage with me for the main countdown, and my father got mad. There was too many people in the elevator, and they sat in their hotel room and watched it on TV.
That is not true.
Yeah, and talk about missing the moment,
no.
right? So, yeah, but that's okay.
Did you feel bad?
Yeah, at the time I was really disappointed because I wanted that moment with them, and it's
of course.
Mom and Dad, how many millenniums do you live through? Changing of the millennium. But, that's just the way it was. So I always, overcame that. And, in my life, I learned that if you think it, your subconscious mind, if you lie in bed at night and you see yourself doing certain things, your subconscious mind will take you there. And I would have premonitions about different things.
Tell us about the airplane crash.
Well, you and I have talked about this a little bit in our conversations, but I've always felt that I've had a guardian angel looking out for me. And one day you even mentioned that.
And we all do, by the way, everybody. We all have guardian angels and spirit guides, so go on.
Yeah, mine have been really good.
Yours
I
are
wouldn't
tough.
be here today if it weren't for mine.
Right.
But I was working on a cruise ship because I was a DJ on the radio, then I was a disco DJ in the 70s, and then disco died. So
wait, you were at Studio 54, right?
Right, I was a guest DJ at Studio 54.
Get out of here. That's like legendary.
Yeah.
That's
Richie
amazing.
Kazor was the DJ.
That's
and
amazing.
Richie had taken a few too many drugs, so he asked me to fill in for him. And that guy was amazing. He was an amazing disc jockey.
What was his name?
Richie Kazor. He
wow.
was very famous. And he would take all these drugs and he couldn't stand up, but I could hold him up and he could still mix. The guy was like amazing.
Whoa.
And unfortunately, he's not with us today.
Aww.
But Richie was a great guy, and he asked me to, guest DJ at 54. And I worked at big clubs here in Los Angeles. I worked at a big club in New York called Infinity, and then in Los Angeles, I worked at the Odyssey and the Studio One and all these different ones. And then I was the DJ
really
for
big.
Alan Carr in his private home.
Amazing. Which
I never wanted to do. And I met this Alan Carr at a party, and he said, "You're Donnie Blanton, you're fabulous, and you're going to work for me." And I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And they said, "Well, he's producing a movie called Grease." And I didn't know what grease was.
Wow.
I thought, well, it was like lubricant. I didn't know what it was. What is grease?
That's amazing.
So he ended up putting me in the movies. That's how I got my SAG
you were in
card.
the movies.
I was in a movie called Can't Stop the Music with the Village People. Big hit. Can't Stop the Music with the Village People.
Oh, my God. You were in a movie? You knew Andy Warhol?
Yeah, Andy Warhol.
At Studio 54. But wait, tell us about how you prevented the airplane, or tell us the airplane crash story.
All right. I'm working on a cruise ship because disco died, so I needed money.
Okay.
So I'm working on a cruise ship as a social director, okay?
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah, I did. I've done it all. So I'm working on this cruise ship, and they're flying me home from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to Los Angeles on Delta Airlines Flight 191.
Okay.
And Delta Airlines Flight 191 was an L-1011, which was a fabulous wide-body airplane, which I loved. And it would land in Dallas for an intermediate stop, and then would go on, same plane with you in it, would go on to Los Angeles. So it was terrible torrential rains in Fort Lauderdale. And I got to the airport late, and they were taking the little gangway away. And I said, oh, please, I need to be on that flight, because I need to make it home on time. And the lady said, I'm terribly sorry, we can't bring it back.
Oh, my.
So I missed the flight, and that flight crashed.
No.
It hit a wind shear, and the plane wheel hit a car and killed a man in his car on the freeway. And then it bounced and hit the ground, and it broke in half. And there were several people that survived.
Right.
But the section that I was sitting in, I would have passed away. And in
That's
those days,
crazy.
remember that? They would give you the boarding passes before you got on?
Yeah,
The ticket
in the olden
agent
days.
would do that.
Right.
And I still have that boarding pass along with the article about the plane crash. So somebody prevented me, yeah.
Your angels, your guardian angels protected you from going on that plane. You were supposed to be late.
That's right.
See, that's why everybody needs to have faith, because some things happen for a reason. Then we might be upset that so-and-so happened, but things happen for reasons in our lives. And life is a school, and we're here to learn lessons. So, and then what happened with the San Francisco earthquake? What did you know about that?
Well, there was a psychic lady that I knew.
Yeah.
And she told me I was going through a really tough period in my life, trying to figure out what next. I reinvent myself every few years. So what am I going to come back now as?
Right.
So she told me to go back to a place of where I had happiness. And when I was a newspaper boy years ago for the Monterey Herald, when my father was in the Marine Corps and he was stationed at Fort Ord, which is an Army base, I sold more newspapers than anybody else as a newspaper boy, and I won a trip to the Santa Cruz Boardwalk.
Oh.
So I took my friend Steve, and we went to the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. And so it was a happy place for me, and I had not been back since. So I drove up to Santa Cruz, and I was going to stay there a week.
Right.
And I went to the boardwalk, and I looked around, and I had all that deja vu, and remembered myself being there and how scared of the roller coaster I was.
Right.
And the little voice kept saying, "You need to leave. You need to get out of town."
Like a little voice in your head.
A little voice in my head.
Like a thought. It was like a thought, or you heard a real voice? Because some people are clairaudience, some people just hear it with their thoughts.
No, I hear an actual.
You hear a real voice.
Voice inside of my head.
Inside your head, okay.
Yeah. And it kept saying, "You need to leave." And I couldn't understand why. And so finally, the feeling was so overwhelming. I told some people that I had met. I said, "You know what? For some reason, I need to leave early." And so I checked out of the hotel and left. And as I'm driving out of town, an hour later, was the big earthquake in San Francisco. And
what year was that?
1980-something. 1984, I think. And so what happened
unbelievable.
Was the hotel where I was staying fell down, and the lovely couple that ran it passed away. And the shopping center where my friend works was demolished.
Oh, my.
And he was okay, thank gosh. But yeah, something told me to leave just before the earthquake.
And
so
where did you go?
When I was going back to L.A. So, yeah, once again, I averted.
You are protected.
It's crazy stuff.
You are so protected. Wow. And when we talked about manifestation, you really manifested this thing with Dick Clark. You kind of like put the thought in his head, and didn't you, like, to do the New Year's Eve thing? Like you said, well, why don't you have me do it? You need some, or those people. You said,
right, the producers.
You said it's like you put thoughts in their head like it was their idea. You need someone to host this.
That's right. That's right. But I did that with everything. I have a saying, find the need and fill it. I wanted to work at a radio station when I was a young guy. And the radio announcer kept saying, oh, we don't know what time it is because we have a lousy clock in the control room. So I went out and found a new thing called digital clocks. And
That's
I bought
crazy.
the biggest one I could find. And then I went to a place and had it engraved and said, the time brought to you by Don Blanton. So I brought the clock in. And they invited me in, loved the clock, said my name on the radio every day. The time is brought to you by Don Blanton because he brought this clock. But what it did was it gave me an entree in, and I ended up being a disc jockey at that radio station.
And how old were you, and where was this?
I was 16 years old at the time, and that was in Fairfax, Virginia. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I started in radio because my father made fun of my voice. And people would call up, and they would say, hello, little girl, is your dad home, on the phone? And I said, this is not a girl. I was really upset about it. So I called a radio station, And I said, how do you talk in a lower voice? And the guy was so nice to me. He said, you know, go home, lie on your back, and read newspapers out loud, and it'll force your air into the diaphragm, and you'll talk in a lower voice. So after a while of practicing, I was able to talk like this. So I walked around saying, hi, how are you? And people said, what's the matter with your voice? It sounds like a radio announcer. So I became one. Heck with him, right? I became a radio announcer because of that.
And then what did your dad say about all that?
He went to Vietnam, and I started in radio in Charleston, South Carolina. And when he came back, he said, you have to move with us. And I said, I don't want to move. I've got my career. And he goes, what career? And I said, radio. He said, no, you can do it again. So when we moved, I had to start in country music and religion and then work my way up to
you
NBC
did?
by the time I was 18.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
where did you move to?
We moved to Annandale, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C., and I was a DJ at a station called WOHN in Herndon, Virginia, which was next to Reston, which was supposed to be a new kind of community. They were the first people that had cable TV back in the 70s.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it was crazy.
Amazing.
And I remember working that radio station, and a TWA plane crashed in our backyard while I was on the radio station. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You mean like you heard a big crash?
A big fireball, and then they used the radio station for triage for trying to see if anybody survived the crash. It was a really weird evening, and I stayed on the radio all night long broadcasting that. Yeah.
And like, were there any survivors? Or
I don't think so. Crashed into a mountain behind it.
So you had to like ad lib.
Yeah, I mean, I was reporting, and what I knew, and from getting from police and fire and all that kind of stuff. So it's just wild stuff that's happened to me all my life, and I can't explain it, So I've just always gone with it, It's like I knew Dick Clark.
But are you grateful?
Oh, I always say it's a blessing and a curse, because I know things sometimes, and I know things about people. And what I've learned as a life coach, because I life coach on the side.
Okay.
I do that to give back.
Oh, that's good. How can people get a hold of you?
Through my website, donblanton.com.
Don Blanton. Do we have that up, Tony? .com, okay.
And then, I'm a designer, and I design unique
Okay,
gifts
now
and all
he is an amazing artist. I have been to his home. I have seen his work. Like, you go to his house and you feel like you're at Disneyland because of all the different things he has. But he didn't design this, but he has like the merry-go-round. What is that?
Yeah, I have a little merry-go-round.
Yeah, it's like amazing. It's like antique, and it's incredible. But so he's got all these fun things at his house. But he makes these really cool skulls that he gives to people, and he also like the last thing he made are like ice skates. Tell them about those ice skates. They're like unbelievable.
Well, I think there's a picture of the mask that I did for a famous hockey player, Henrik Lundqvist of the New York Rangers.
I see it. It's right up on the screen, you guys.
And that is on display at Madison Square Garden permanently.
What?
And that has...
Wait, let's take a minute. You never told me this.
No, I know.
Wait, it's permanently up in Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Get out of here.
So the sequel to that was his skates. And I don't have a picture of that yet because I haven't released them. But
the skates. You don't have a photo of them.
I don't have a photo here today.
Oh, they're like incredible. You got are they gold? What are they? They're like
I use a unique process of taking the items and turning them into chrome, which is very hard to do with leather. And then I put 250,000 Swarovski crystals on them. And I glued them on one by one myself. And it takes a long time. It took 2.5 years to finish that. But I designed these unique display cases that go with them to light them up. I designed that. So Don Blanton Design is another company that I have.
Oh, okay. So when you do your life coaching, what is it that you like to do best? Or why do people call you? People contact me when they don't feel they have a direction in life. Okay. And so what I help them do is make what I call a life map. Because I tell people, when I speak at schools, sometimes I say, how many people have heard the saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Right. And they raise their hands, and I say, I have one word for those people who say that: loser.
And everybody laughs because you have to pick a destination. And it's along the way to that destination is where you meet people. You know, there could be a road that's out and you have to take a detour through a little town.
Right.
And a steak and egg kitchen and a lady is working in there. She's got one tooth, but she says one thing that'll change your life forever.
Right.
And you wouldn't have met her had the bridge not been out.
It's so true.
Yeah. So I help people make a life map because they just drive around in circles in their life hoping that something falls into their lap today.
Right.
And I said, it doesn't happen that way. You know, perseverance will get you there. Talent will keep you there. So that's what I tell people. So
I like that. Perseverance
will get you there.
Will get you there.
And talent will keep you there. Yeah. It's not always about
That's
talent.
That's a good
that gets
T-shirt.
You
should make a T-shirt.
I should make a T-shirt. I'll make one and give it to you.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so I help people get on track with their lives and trying to figure out, you know, what they can try to do. And they're all upset about failure. You know, they're always so worried about failure. And I said, you know what? We all failed at walking. I said, you know, when we were crawling around as a baby, we look up, we see two people standing up and go, ooh, I want to try that. And if you have a good family, they get all excited that you're going to stand up and they take pictures and you go, darn, I should have done this earlier because look at all the attention I'm getting. And then you fall and you usually cry. And people say, oh, well, you fell because you hurt yourself. I said, I don't think so. It was only 2 inches. I said, it's fear. You know, fear. That's the 4-letter word that's rampant in everything, right?
Right.
So it's the fear that made you cry because unless your parents threw you around the room, you didn't know really what falling was about. And then they tell you to stand up on your own 2 feet. But later on, the same people will tell you, well, you better have something to fall back on. Because they're saying, oh, well, you're not going to be able to do what you set out to do, so you better have plan B just in case. And I've always been a firm believer that if you have something to fall back on, that's exactly what you'll end up doing.
And you've done that.
I've done it.
You've
I don't
lived
work
it.
with a net. You know, it's like a circus, the one that works with a net and one that doesn't.
Right.
The one that doesn't have more to lose.
It's true.
And the more you have to lose, the better you will be.
So now that your dad's in the spirit world.
He's not gone yet.
Oh, he's still living.
He's still here.
Oh, he's still here.
Has dementia.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Did he ever, in your whole life, ever say, you know, I'm proud of you or you were amazing?
He does now, yeah.
With dementia or
With
before
dementia, that's
before
right.
dementia?
Well, dementia's done that. Yeah.
Before he got dementia, he told
you. A little
you.
bit. You know, he said he made some mistakes and then he didn't believe in me, You know, what happened was, I forgave my parents a long time ago.
It's good that he did that and that you have closure with that.
Oh, yeah. But it's like you can't live your life in the past, right? So I forgave my parents because they didn't know how to handle a child like me.
Right.
They wanted a child that played football and did everything like everybody else, and they didn't have that with me, so they didn't know what to do. That's what I really think. And they were just not equipped to handle a child that was different. And that was it. And I just made my own way. I learned that, you know what, I'm going to do it for myself. And you forgive
And you've
them.
done it.
Yeah. And they do the
and
best they can.
And you've been so successful.
I've done okay. And as Dick Clark used to say to me, you've done okay for an old DJ.
Well, I'm so grateful that you came here today. You're fascinating.
Thank you.
I learned things about you today that I had no idea about. And what's your next step?
Next step is this year, I'm going to go back into doing more show business things.
Good.
I'm working on those skates. I'm going to unveil those in the year.
Okay, good.
I'm doing a new thing for Star Wars, which is going to come out. So I'm doing a really cool piece for J.J. Abrams. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm doing it.
Okay.
And I've got so many different. I'm going back on the speaking circuit, and you've encouraged me to write a book. So I've got 2020 is going to be a big year.
Good. Well, we want to hear all about it when you come back.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Happy, healthy New Year to you.
Same to you.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, Tony's going to play a couple commercials, and we'll be right back, and I'm going to take your calls. Hey, everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and I am so excited. I am over the moon to share with you that I have a new book coming out called The Universe is Calling You. And there's an amazing foreword by RuPaul. There's an endorsement by Chris Colfer. It's about understanding your intuition. It's about protecting yourself from negative energies. It's about understanding your essence and your true purpose and your soul's purpose on this earth. You can get it at barnesandnoble.com. You can get it at amazon.com. I would love for you to order the book and let me know what you think of it. Write a review for us if you feel like it. Thanks so much. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and I just wanted to answer a couple questions. People have been calling the office and texting and emailing. Do I do private sessions? Well, yes, I do. And I love reading for my clients. I do phone, Skype, FaceTime, and in person if we're in the same city. I also teach intuition. So if you have an interest in doing that, or if you're interested in getting your family together and you want a group reading, I do those as well. So just call 248-909-2427, ask for Nicole, and I look forward to reading for you. Thanks. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and I am so excited. I am over the moon to share with you that I have a new book coming out called The Universe is Calling You, and there's an amazing foreword by RuPaul. There's an endorsement by Chris Colfer. It's about understanding your intuition. It's about protecting yourself from negative energies. It's about understanding your essence and your true purpose and your soul's purpose on this earth. You can get it at barnesandnoble.com. You can get it at amazon.com. I would love for you to order the book and let me know what you think of it. Write a review for us if you feel like it. Thanks so much. Okay, we're back, and let's see who is my first person that I get to talk to. 732. I have no idea where that is. Okay, can you put this up so I can hear? Hi.
Oh.
Wait.
Hi.
Okay. Are you breaking up? He sounds kind of broken up.
No. I'm all excited.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Oh my goodness, I was on the last time and I didn't get called. And thank you so much.
Oh, it's so my pleasure. So just be open about everybody living and deceased, okay? You know, I hear phonetically, so. I'm seeing somebody that's an S or C initial. Do you have somebody that's an S or C initial connected with you?
Yes.
Which S or C?
S.
Is it a female S?
Yes.
And in her name with the S, is there an N in it in the first full name?
Yes.
Like a Susan or Stephanie or Sandy?
Sandy.
And who is this?
My sister.
Is she living, Sandy?
No.
Oh, she's deceased. Okay. I feel her very energetically. Her energy is like really alive to me. So that's why I asked if she was still living. Her spirit's with you. Were you waiting to hear from her?
Always,
You miss her, right?
Yes. Many years.
I'm so sorry for your loss, but she says, okay, don't get this wrong, but she says we're all up here waiting for you. So she's with some other people, and not that you're going anywhere. You're not going anywhere right now. That's not the point. The point is that you never need to be afraid of dying.
I never was.
You what?
I'm never afraid.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And also, I see an M, somebody who's an M or a J.
I'm not I guess my brain is not thinking M or J.
Was there like a grandmother that was an M or? Okay.
My grandmother. I can't think of Emma. No, but not.
Who's Emma would be M and Emma would be close. Would be the same to me. Who's Emma?
Okay, Emma. My aunt.
Because when I say M and Emma sound alike to me, so I feel like she's around there as well. And who had the animals around them?
My mother.
Yeah, your
and
mom.
My grandmother.
Your mom and your grandma have all their animals around. Like they had more than one, right?
my mother had a lot of cats.
Yeah, I was going to say like the cat lady. So she's with all her babies, and that makes her happy. Aw. Are you okay?
Oh, yes.
I know.
Yeah.
It's especially this time of year during the holidays. It's so hard when we miss our loved ones. But
I always wanted to hear from Sandy. I always wanted to cushion.
Well, she definitely is here, and they're also showing me an R or B. I don't know who this is. Is there a male that's a B or an R? Is there like a Bill or Bob for you?
No.
Okay, if it's not for you, then I think it's another caller that's going to come. I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I really appreciate you calling, and I'm so glad Sandy was here for you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. I've been waiting for years and years. Thank you so much.
Well, you know what? I'm thrilled and honored that I was able to bring her through to you, and she's with your mom and all the animals.
Thank you.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And my little Scott, her son.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, honey. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, so there's an R or B person in my head. I got to find out who this person is. Who's the next caller? 508. Hi.
Her through to you, and she's with your mom and all the animals.
Hi. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here.
Hi, this is Char.
Hello.
Who is this? Hello? Hello? Did she hang up the phone? Oh, no, she got too excited. Oh, no, I feel so bad. Call us back. Okay, let's go to the next caller. 516.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I had chills because I have somebody
wait,
whose
don't tell me. Are you
BR.
the R or B? I knew it. Okay, and
the initials are B in the first name and R in the last.
Okay, but does the first name start with B?
Yes.
And in that first name, is there an R in the first name or a T in it?
No.
Or an N in it?
Yes.
Is it like is that a male?
Yes.
Is it a Ben?
Yes.
Benjamin?
Yes, exactly.
Benny. Okay.
Yes, they called him Benny.
I know. That's why he corrected me. He said, "No, Benny." I hear in my ear,
oh my
"No,
God.
Benny." I said, "Okay, fine." So, he's definitely here with you, and I feel like you were summoning him.
Yes.
And I feel like he hung up the phone on that other person so you could come in. And
I'm so glad. I mean, I feel bad for the other person, but I'm glad.
But did you say R is his last name?
Yes, there's an R. It starts with an R in his last name.
Yeah, that's right. And okay, and I don't has he ever come to you in a dream, or have you felt him?
Yeah.
Because he's saying when he comes to you in dreams, you need to like recognize it and listen to whatever the guidance is that you're getting.
The funny thing is I don't hear him talking in my dream, but I do see him.
What? And tell me what the dream was.
He was just there. We were at his house. Should I tell you who this person is to me?
And is this family to you?
Yes.
Was it your dad or?
Yeah. Yes, it was
father?
my father.
Yeah, because I felt a paternal energy, and I feel like he's coming in to let you know he's still like the patriarch. He's still watching over you. And
I feel it.
And do you still have dreams of where you used to live or where he used to live? Is that what you were telling me?
Yes.
Do you have repeated dreams of where you used to live?
Not a lot, but I have had.
Yeah, I feel that's him. And I also feel like he's showing me a photo. Do you have a photo near you of him?
Yes, my cousin came over yesterday,
recently.
and
He's
my
saying
cousin's
recently,
mother.
Yeah.
Yes, so my cousin's mother was his sister and brought and who passed recently and brought me whatever photos her mother had of my parents actually.
He knows that you
to
got
me.
he knows that you got the photo.
Wow.
And that just happened yesterday. Wow, he really is in your house.
Yes, and could I ask a question? Like two questions?
You may, and be specific.
What?
Yes, you may.
Okay. My daughter got married Saturday, and I'm Jewish, so we were under the chuppah.
I was going to say, it's funny, I was going to say Mazel Tov. That's great.
Yes, and I really felt like my parents were there.
I feel like they were there. And I'm also hearing an S, or an, is there
Yeah.
Do you know the S person?
Well, I have one deceased and one living, but my daughter is the S person living.
Wait. They're talking about is she S-A or S-H?
There's an A in it.
S-H or S-T?
Yes, S-H.
Like Sharon or
Shawnee.
Shawnee, okay. Yeah, they were at the wedding.
Oh, my God.
And I want you to look at the photos because they just showed me like a beam of light or an orb in one of your photos. That maybe you didn't
when I get the wedding photos.
Maybe you didn't get the photos yet, or somebody might have taken it with their phone. And you're going to see the orb and you're going to see the light, and that's going to be your parents. Who's Rose?
Wow.
Who's Rose or Ruth? Do you know that person? You don't know that person. Okay, and
no.
Is there an H or an A person?
I have a deceased aunt that was A, and actually a deceased uncle that is H.
Is there like a Harry or Herbert or Henry
No.
or Harold? Or is it H-A or H-O?
No.
Or H-E? I can't hear this.
H-Y?
Like Hyman?
Yes. Yes, Hyman.
Okay, I think he's around. I think that they all came to the wedding is the reason that I'm saying this. And there's like other people that I'm in the S person, the S deceased. Is that a female or a male?
Yes, female.
S-A?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes, exactly, my grandmother. And that's on my mother's side, not my father's, actually.
Okay, well, Sarah, she was there, but they were all there. They were all there. Look at the photos. You're going to see some really, like, amazing a light show or orb show.
Wow.
And they're holding children. So there must be babies coming to the earth.
Wow.
Reincarnated. Does your daughter want kids?
Yes.
You're going to be a grandma.
Oh, wow.
You're going to be a grandma. And they're also talking about someone who lost a baby. Did someone have a miscarriage or abortion?
Your mother had miscarriages.
Your mom.
When I was, yes, but I was pregnant with my son. I actually found out that I had twins, but one sac went bad, so my son was the only one. So I kind of lost one.
Right. And who's David or Michael?
I have an uncle, Michael.
Michael?
That's deceased.
Yeah, I think that he's around here as well. But I also, okay, I'm gonna. All I can tell you is that you're gonna be a grandma, and that it's all good things, and whatever the child that you did not make it with you, it was not supposed to. It wasn't meant to be.
Right.
I don't know if did you still mourn that child?
No, it was only in the first month, and I was shocked that I even had twins in there.
Okay. Yeah, because it was...
I was glad that there was another sac still intact, and there was at least I was having another baby.
Thank goodness. Well, Benny is really loves you. Benny loves you.
I was a daddy's girl, so I always knew that.
I can tell that. And I feel like he's going to be with you when are you going to light your Hanukkah candles?
Yes.
He's going to be with you.
Okay. And one quick question. I haven't been well. I know part of the problem. Do they have any insight on where I could guide my doctors to find out exactly what else could possibly be going on?
What are you like tired all the time or what?
Yes.
Did they I mean, I'm not allowed to give out medical advice, but did they look?
No, I know that.
Did they look at Lyme disease or did they look into
They
Lyme?
have, but it was inconclusive, and that was years and years ago.
What, the Lyme disease?
Yeah, but it was inconclusive. It was a gray area. It was neither positive nor negative, is what I was told. It was like, I don't know, they said the numbers were like gray area at the time, but that was years and years ago.
You know, I'm not sure what they're saying, but I just feel like it's something like that. It may not be exactly Lyme disease. It may be Epstein-Barr or chronic.
That's exactly what. And I don't know if there was a research of it.
Or chronic fatigue or Epstein-Barr, and like you need to go. If this were me, I would go to holistic doctors, and I would boost my immune system, and I would work on my adrenals, and I would find somebody that knows how to do all that, who does applied kinesiology, that can muscle test you to the things that you need. And also a really good applied kinesiologist could even help you find what it is that's exactly wrong with you.
Okay.
But I feel like it's one of those things that they can't really come up with. But I think it's like something like, the feeling is like either Lyme, Epstein-Barr, or maybe he had Lyme a long time ago and it never went away, or there's still something in there, or Epstein-Barr, or chronic fatigue. That's what they're bringing to me. But I do feel like there's ways that you can boost your immune system. You should do Myers IVs. If this were me, I would do Myers IVs and B12 shots.
Okay.
Okay, I wish you well.
Yes, thank you so much. You really gave me a good Hanukkah present by this reading.
God bless
Thank you.
It's so my pleasure. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I knew there was that B initial person, and his last name was an R, and I knew it was coming in, and boy, he hung up on that other caller. That was crazy. Okay, let's take one more call before we move on. 918. Who's this?
Hi, this is Hope.
What's your name?
Can you? My name is Hope. Can you hear me well?
Hi, Hope. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to get through. Okay, well, I don't know if you can answer. I heard you say something about not answering health questions. So
no,
I guess
but I can work on it. But I got to know that I'm tuned into you. So, is there anyone that's a J or G initial connected with you?
Not that I know of.
And no one living or deceased, right? Do you have a doctor that's a J or G? No?
Probably after I get off the phone with you.
You're gonna remember it?
Yes, I do. I can't think of any right now.
Okay, I need to tune in on you to know if I can get. And the other thing I was getting was an S or an M.
Do I know anybody with an S or an M?
Yeah. Do you have any family like this or anyone?
Yeah, I have a cousin named Shanna.
Shanna, okay. I'm not sure that that's it, but I kind of feel like this is a deceased person. So, okay, so you've had health issues as well. You're saying you had health issues as well, right?
Yeah, well, the main thing, anything that you get would be great. It's been real hard for me the past year. I guess a couple of years ago I had a laser procedure, a CO2 laser procedure, and it's not supposed to be able to get deep enough to kill fat cells, and I did end up killing, the fat in my face, my nose, my head.
Wait. What happened to your face? Wait. What happened to your face, your nose, and your head?
the fat literally was melted off. So I guess the fat cells were just destroyed and drained, and it doesn't ever really happen to anyone. In fact, there's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, I did a lot of research, and I'm no medical doctor. It was like what they call damp molecules, and instead of building collagen, it killed the fat cells.
That's
so
horrible.
This has been
so
really...
so you had all this surgery to look better, and it took away your good looks. Is that what you're saying?
And all it was one laser, and it only lasted like 20 minutes, and it destroyed all the fat on my face. It just literally aged me.
That's so crazy.
It was just crazy. Yes.
So
the past... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's just been really hard for me because my life was not real easy to begin with. I have it a lot better than a lot of people. I have food, I have shelter, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But with this thing with my face, and I'm not talking just walking around with a little fat loss, I'm talking I had to go and buy tape to tape my face up in order to go out in public.
Were you also thinking of having surgery?
At the time?
No, now. Facial surgery?
No, the only thing I'm scared about every surgery now. The only thing I was possibly thinking of was getting a derma fillers, but I can't possibly afford to do all the derma fillers that would ever get me back to where I was before.
And if you eat a lot of food, you don't gain weight?
You know, that used to not be true, and that's another thing. After the fat loss in my face, I decided, I'll get this thing called Sculptra, which is supposed to be a collagen stimulator. And ever since I had that, I obviously have some autoimmune or some kind of issue because I did not react to that. That was a disaster. And it's done some really strange things to my body.
Okay, so
no.
I feel like that you have I think you need to find somebody who understands allergies.
Yeah.
I feel like you have allergies to some of this stuff. And if you could again, I'm not allowed to give out medical advice, but if you could desensitize yourself to the things you're allergic to, that maybe could help build your body back up.
Mm-hmm. What do you see from my face, though? Do you think I'm just going to have to deal with this the rest of my life?
You know, I don't know that. I'm not God, and I don't know that. And I always believe in miracles, and I believe that there's ways for things to happen. I think eventually you may find somebody that can help you. I don't think you found the right person yet, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but if it were me, I would find somebody that does NAET. If you go to www.naet and see what they can find, whatever autoimmune thing you may have, and then how to desensitize you to it and find the right supplements to help you get out of it.
Yeah.
Because you just have allergies to things. Whatever they put in your skin or the fat or whatever is allergies. I feel like your body had a rejection to it, an allergic rejection. So I'm thinking,
that makes sense.
And I'm feeling if you get it back, if you desensitize yourself to the things you're allergic to, then there's that you can start the healing process. Where do you live?
Okay.
Where do you live?
I live in Oklahoma.
Okay. I don't know anyone there, but just go to NAET.
Yeah.
Go to NAET.
Most people don't,
NAET.com and start there. The important thing, if you find an applied kinesiologist, you want to make sure you find somebody who really knows what they're doing and who you feel comfortable with and you bond with. And it's non-toxic. It's nothing that will scare you. And they don't put anything inside your body or anything. It's just something they energetically desensitize you to. I'm so sorry, but I'm being told I've got to go. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, but think positive about this. I'm sure The universe will guide the right people to you to get the help you want. But I would start with desensitizing your body to what you're allergic to and whatever that autoimmune thing may be. Okay?
Okay, and so you don't hear from my grandma Pearl.
Okay, I honestly, I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Take good care of
appreciate it.
yourself. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, everybody, that's it for now. Hey, I will see you guys next year. I wish you a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a happy, healthy, successful, amazing New Year. I hope that in this new year, if I'm doing book signings anywhere or promoting my book, that I'll be able to meet you in person. The universe is calling you. And I wish you and your loved ones a safe year. And remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.